What is up, you guys? Marty McFly coming at you, bringing you guys the merch. Today, I want to talk about the latest vinyl represses of none other than the almighty Cannibal Corpse. This is their very first record, Eaten Back to Life. Now, this is a band I've always wanted to have a couple of their records on vinyl. Obviously, getting a first press is going to be super expensive. Even the first press of the OG CD is still super expensive. You can find the cheaper ones like the Russian first editions. Those are a little bit cheaper, but the CDs themselves and the vinyls are obviously going for a lot of money. The first press cassettes are also going for a lot of money as well. But this is Eaten Back to Life. Artwork done by Vince Locke. He's done basically all of their albums up to this point. As far as the artwork goes, he basically did Del World Comics, was sought out by the band. You can read a lot of the documentary, especially how the band formed and everything, on their DVDs. You can see it's right behind me. That's Centuries of Torment, a great DVD. Seen it 5 or 6 times. It's just a joy to watch, especially when you go talking about like the Buffalo death metal scene, the Tampa, Florida death metal scene, and how everything just started blowing up after this. So this is the latest vinyl repress, Metal Blade Records. I got mine off of Amazon. It was a little bit cheaper because you don't have to worry about paying for shipping and handling because I already have Prime, so it kind of worked out for me. By the way, happy October and happy Halloween to all you guys out there. As you can see, we're starting to decorate a little bit more. Overall, I love the quality of sound on this. This sounds like how the band was probably supposed to sound. I don't have an old vinyl for comparison, but I love the cleanliness of the sound. It's not muddy. Everything is super crystal clear. Probably how the band would sound live when they're first getting started. Overall, just sounds fantastic. I love the amount of bass, the amount of clicking from the bass pedals, everything that you can hear. The three songs I knew I wanted to judge this record by, though, was going to be Shredded Humans, Skull Full of Maggots, and Splatter Brains, Scattered Remains. Those three songs I knew is kind of how I was going to judge how the vinyl would sound. And to me, I think all three songs sounded fantastic. All the tracks came out very, very well. So you can get yours. I think they're on Indie Merch Store, Amazon. You go through Metal Blade Records. What is cool, though, so we have the custom center labels with the old school Metal Blade Records motif, and then we have this type of blood red splatter vinyl. They're calling it clear with red bloodshot. I love clear colored vinyl. I think it just adds something more depth to the experience of listening to it. Yeah, old school black, I love it too. But I think getting some of these colored vinyls, I don't think it diminishes the sound, especially the way they sound now. But I do like hearing that, and I think it adds more depth to the experience of the band. You do get an insert, no posters, unfortunately. I think it would be awesome to actually have a full-on poster of this. But we have the insert with our lyric sheet here. Overall, I think it's worth adding, to your collection. I'm really enjoying it. I played it maybe 4, 5, 6 times now, and each time I'm listening, I'm starting to hear more and more things that I didn't always hear. Maybe because when you listen to the album in the car, or you hear traffic, there's the car. Sometimes a lot of the little notes are hidden, but I think listening to on vinyl, kind of in a quieter apartment, you start to hear way more things. So overall, I'm really glad to have this. I'm really glad they repressed this, especially for those of us who don't necessarily have the OG vinyl represses or don't necessarily have the money to spend on it right now. Speaking of spending money on things, so that was kind of like my review for that. I'm really excited to have it, though. Definitely go out and get yours. I hope you got. I think they also repressed the first 2 or 3 because I noticed the other 2 records are on there as well. They repressed those, put them on their own vinyls. So if you already have this or you want albums 2 and 3, those are on there too. But speaking of spending money on things. So this is another big autumn year, fall, fall semester, winter for heavy metal. Two albums I'm super looking forward to, especially is the new Whitechapel. If you haven't listened to Whitechapel's Orphan today, go out and do it. I'm kind of curious on your thoughts. I loved it. This new album is still taking on Phil Bozeman's like family experiences and like kind of sticking to that motif. Overall, though, this album, Kin, that they're coming out with, all 3 tracks have been bangers. I've enjoyed them very much. Phil Bozeman's really pushing his vocals as far as clean vocals and screaming and growling is concerned. I really like what he's doing, and especially with Orphan, he's just all over the place. I mean, he's got the screams, he's got the cleans, he's like really pushing like the melodic screaming as well, kind of like I wouldn't even say Sam Carter from Architects. I'm thinking beyond that, honestly. Maybe a little bit of Chester Bennington in there. Rest in peace. So I really like where Whitechapel's going with it. The other 2 tracks, they have some cleans, but they're both equally heavy. A lot of chugs, a lot of pounding riffs. So really excited to see where Whitechapel goes with this. I got the pre-order already. I got the box set. Looks like it comes with a 7-inch gold etching with an acoustic track on there. Should be interesting, as well as the rest of the tracks. And then it also comes with a poster and a 92-page booklet, kind of discussing the band. Actually having reading material in Whitechapel, I'm stoked for just to see if maybe we can, if they talk about the evolution of the band, where they're at now. I'm really excited to see where this book takes them as a band. My apologies. So that's kind of like where Whitechapel's going for right now. I'm excited to see the rest of the album, how it sounds. Overall, it sounds super clean, definitely professionally recorded. The lyric content is definitely a little bit more darker, deeper. We're definitely away from the somatic defilement days of where the band is, but I'm still super excited to see where they go. The most I'm going to say the most expensive purchase, but one of the more expensive purchases that I'll be making this fall is Paradise Lost is coming out with. So anyway, as I was saying, had to get some coffee. This is an old mug of mine. This is back from, I don't know if you guys remember this, but that metal show. I missed the show. I know Eddie Trunk, the dude's a hoot. He's got his own podcast now, and it's still a great thing to listen to. I like Jamie Joss's show as well, but I really enjoyed getting this mug. I was living in Pittsburgh for a little while and freezing my tail off, and this mug always kept me warm. Now, as you can see, they didn't really press this correctly because all the labels starting to come off, but it's still a cup of coffee. At the end of the day, it still works. So Paradise Lost is releasing this giant box set called The Lost and the Painless. It's basically everything from the Gothic and Lost Paradise era of the band, including the first demo. You got like the Lost tapes. You got all these old demos. You got a bunch of live CDs on there, and then especially being before they were even signed as a band on Peaceville Records, and then the Peaceville Trio, as they used to be called back in the day with two other bands. But really excited to pick that up, especially to hear kind of like now this Repress CD experience with Lost Paradise and Gothic. It looks like they're going to try and amp up and clean up the sound a little bit. I think both records, especially for like that doom death metal era, both of them sound great. Definitely a lot of surprises on the Gothic album. And if you say if there's an album that got them really big, it was Gothic from that era. Even listening to and reading interviews by like Amorphous and Catatonia, everyone pretty much says that they're influenced by Paradise Lost in some way. So really excited for that. That's another way for us to blow money out of our wallets, but really excited. That comes out in November as well. So we got Whitechapel, we got Paradise Lost. I know we have a million other albums that we don't even have time to talk about, but so much stuff is coming out. I hope everyone else is doing well out there. Again, if you don't have a copy of Eaten Back to Life on vinyl and you want to repress, I think this is a great place to start. Definitely a little bit easier on the wallet as well. I hope everyone's doing okay out there. Looking forward to hearing what you guys are listening to, what you guys are buying, what you guys are blowing your money on. Killswitch Engage and Slipknot and Fever 333 and Code Orange are all coming to the Tampa, Florida Fairgrounds here in a couple of days. Looking forward to that show. Definitely a lot of shows coming up. Acacia Strain's on tour. We have Boundaries is coming in and Body Snatcher coming in on Friday. So a lot of stuff to look forward to. Hope everyone else is doing well out there. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Cheers.